Friends, in today's WoW series 19, I am going to talk to you about concept of limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are a collection of opinions of ourselves and others that constrain us in some way. The stronger the belief, the more evidence we seem to find to support those beliefs, despite the fact that the vast majority of limiting beliefs are simply untrue. Please remember what I am saying. The vast majority of limiting beliefs which we are holding are simply untrue. Such beliefs are formed unconsciously based on our life experiences and are most often misinterpretation of past events. We cement these beliefs in our minds through repeated thoughts once we have decided that the opinion must be true. Working through your limiting beliefs can have a profoundly positive impact on your self-worth, confidence, and personal empowerment. Your beliefs about life and how it works do not include the whole picture. Your beliefs do not reflect all that is knowable about reality, and they are not facts. They are just unconscious constructions, models based on our experiences that help us to navigate through the world. We begin constructing them as babies through our senses and perceptions, and they are necessarily limited. The whole reality is unknowable. No one human being understands that reality in its entirety. In fact, from birth, what we are even able to experience, a reality is fundamentally shaped by the limitations of our perceptive system. We don't particularly have world-class sniffers. Our eyes cannot see in the dark. Each of us is limited in what we can actually know about the world because we have not been designed to perceive it in all. In fact, scientists are convinced that the amount of information we consciously perceive is extremely small compared to the amount of information received by the sense organs. According to neuroscientist Martin Zimmerman, we only perceive around 40 bits of information per second, while our sensory systems are picking up information flow at the rate of 11 million bits per second. This implies that really only a teeny portion of the information is available to us and is processed at a conscious level. The phrase, "I am right, you are wrong," is the archetypal expression of our tendency to attach to views and opinions. If I think, it must be true, and if you think differently, sorry, but you are wrong. You might be a good person, but you are just wrong. In our culture, we tend to hold opinions in a very high regard. The tendency to take our opinion or view as ultimate reality is a strong habit for all of us. If I see something in a particular way, what I think is right, and so I am right. But if we attach to that way of thinking, if we take it to be absolutely valid, we will find ourselves in conflict with those who think differently. The more we believe in our opinions, the greater our investment in the rational mind. Indeed, the more logical our thoughts may be, the more tidy our rational, the more perfectly valid it may seem to be to straighten somebody else out because they are wrong. Even if we do not think of setting someone straight as a sacred duty, we can still have strong attitude of righteousness. It might be the case that we have been praised for that quality during our childhood and upbringing, taught that righteous indignation is a good quality. On one level, we can make a tight logical case for thinking that way and say it is absolutely true by our own judgment and reasoning. But then we will not recognize what it does to our own heart and the way that we relate to others. The issue is further complicated by the fact that sometimes stepping up and taking action may be exactly the appropriate thing to do, irrespective of our feeling of righteous indignation. I will quote a small story here, which it appears really has happened. Once a Brahmin scholar called Dandapani, whose name literally means person with a stick in hand, came to the place where Lord Buddha was sitting and meditating. He was a professional debater, very good in tarka. He has heard of Buddha's reputation and came to ask him, "What is your philosophy? What kind of teaching do you proclaim? What kind of views do you assert?" The Buddha, being a very quick judge of human character, said, "I proclaim such a teaching that espouses non-contention with anyone in the world." And the story says that Dandapani then clicked his tongue, his brows puckered into 3 furrows, and wagging his head from side to side with nothing to say, he went away and left the Buddha by himself. Later, the Buddha described this encounter briefly to the monks and said, "When the mind doesn't grab hold of things, when you don't find anything, any opinion, any fixed position to delight in, please remember, then that is what brings about the end of the quarrel, the end of dispute, malicious speech, the taking up of weapons and of argument. That is where contention comes to an end, where the mind doesn't relish taking hold of this is my position. If you think differently from me, you must be wrong." This case led to friction, contention, and all kinds of quarrels at the family, social, or political level, even to the point of leading to warfare over a view or a simple difference in understanding. This is an important issue in our lives, and we not understand its core, how it works in our minds. There is no real hope of solving it on broader scale. So we need to explore that quality of contention, the divisiveness, the polarity. Where does it come from and what can we do about it? Please remember, if you had a heated argument with someone for 10 minutes, you are responsible for 8 minutes.